killing me.
What? Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Holy fire.
I didn't know you were that tall.
Wow.
My goodness.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
It's your life on stage.
Oh, wow.
That is crazy.
Look at this guy.
Look.
Got our own logo.
Brent, you got your own logos.
That's excellent.
Oh, cool.
Those look
Did
great.
the same guy draw those?
Yes, the two on the end.
The-
are Jerry Bennett.
Looks like a gorilla. That's awesome.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, Brent, what is this, Brent?
That's a shirt I wore in the 80s
Holy.
through almost every single gig. And
And then some.
yeah. all through the
Jeez,
80s.
man.
I'm not much for change.
A different
So that's my
life.
80s uniform. That's my Horseshoe Road uniform. Right?
There's Dolly.
Dolly.
Dolly's-
Hello, Dolly.
Grand Ole Opry entrance, Grand Ole Opry debut. Wow.
Tell us about the artwork here.
So this is, I have a friend, D.G. Smalling, who's a really famous Choctaw artist. He does single line portraiture. And a few years ago, he just said, hey, Kyle, come over and to my studio. And it was like, I said I'd be there by like midnight or something, you know. He's like, fine, no problem, come over. And like, he got his sketch pad out and he filled this entire thing. He said, get your violin and play, I want to sketch you. And he just filled this entire book sketch pad with sketches of me. And I remember looking through and thinking, you know, I can't hardly think of a time where I took a photograph and felt that that I had been captured so well and so distinctly with the energy and because sometimes you have trouble with that, capturing the photos, and then he just gifted the whole sketch pad to me, and I was trying to figure out what to do for a new logo and a new look, and one of those images ended up becoming the Kyle Dillingham and Horseshoe Road logo. Just this, you know, energy. I think when people oftentimes think about us, we're always trying to convey the energy and the excitement and the just the joy that we have of making music together. So
Brent, you've got some instruments on the stage. Tell us
ma'am.
about those.
Well, there's a little soprano sax here. It's a curved soprano sax, probably made in Asia. I brought that at last minute yesterday just because I thought about it, and that has been on every international Horseshoe Road venture we've ever been on. It's been to Africa, Korea, Taiwan, Burma, and Russia, and just everywhere we went, I've took that little sax, and I thought that'd be a great addition to the exhibit because it's been everywhere since I've been with Horseshoe Road, all around the world with us, even in Edmond, Oklahoma. So
What about the guitar over there, the electric?
that's my baby. I've got about 70 guitars, and if someone held me at gunpoint and said, you can only keep one of these, that would be the one right there. I've had that since I was probably 16, 17 years old. It's an early 1980s Kramer. That's the second neck that's been on there. I broke the first one swinging it around my head like an idiot, and I hit a chair and broke the headstock. So that's a replacement neck. I put the tremolo system on there when I was about 17 years old. It's did the best I could, but it still works. It's been to Texas, to Hollywood, all around the United States with me for years and years. That was my only guitar that I ever played. I didn't have a backup, couldn't afford one, but that's my baby. That's the one I've counted on all these all these years, and that's my life partner right there. Very special.
Peter, you're
really
front
great.
and center because you had a major role in Edmond.
I had the great fortune to teach at Edmond North High School and the vertical middle schools for 15 years. And yes, a very special time in 2013, actually. That's where it all started. I was announced as Edmond North High School's Teacher of the Year. And kind of an interesting thing, then they choose the District Teacher of the Year. And it's always a huge surprise, except it wasn't, because the three of us were going to be on tour in East Asia during the announcement. So they had to tell me beforehand. So they said, Peter, you can't tell anybody, but you're going to be the district teacher of the year. And the Husky statue is given to our teachers of the year every year at Edmond North High School. It's just a really neat commemorative piece. And on that trip, when we were in East Asia, we went up to Pacific Rim, Vladivostok, Russia, and Kamchatka. If you played the game Risk, you know where Kamchatka is. And we got to actually sled with Huskies. So my school loved that. And Kyle and I, he helped me film an acceptance thank you speech so that they could air that when I was announced the district teacher of the year. And became a state finalist, and then got to represent our entire state, all K-12 educators, as the state teacher of the year.
Yes.
It's really neat. Yeah.
Man. I keep like seeing more the longer I stay in here, more and more things are like layers and things. Because I remember, you'd think that everything that's here, I mean, we brought it, so you'd think there would be no real surprises. But actually, I had brought a big like box that contained rolled up posters. And these are things that I had rolled at the time and have never seen since. And so I'm seeing like posters from when Peter and I were touring South America in like, I think that was in 2001. 2001.
It's when
and so there's like layers and layers of things that the way that the whole thing is put together is just so beautiful. And it's just exciting, and there's moments of I see just there's personal things, there's professional things, and it's just really wonderful.
Well,
There's
there's more.
more. Keep going. Oh my gosh.
Familiar.
Holy fire.
I know you're that tall, Kyle. Wow.
I do look taller in the display case. I'm a little intimidating. Wow, geez.
Tell us about this suit.
So Manuel Cuevas is sort of the known as the tailor to the stars. It's easy to say, you know, he dressed Johnny Cash and put him in black and put Elvis in gold, and through the years had been designing for all these artists that are so recognizable. I like to say, you know, I mean, he's told stories about like Elton John and the Beatles and just the Queen of England and the presidents, and it's just amazing. But when I started working with Jim Halsey as my manager, one of the first things he said was, I need you to go to Nashville, meet Manuel, play for him, and see if he'll start designing for you. And Jim and Manuel had worked together for over 50 years developing artists together. And one of the things that Jim said to me was, he said, Kyle, there's nobody that once they have a chance to hear you is not going to think of you as a star-level performer. But he said the problem is in our industry, in this industry, we need the moment they see you. Before a word has been spoken or a note has been played or an introduction has been made, they start recognizing and you as a star the moment they see you. And that's what Manuel can do. I guarantee if you wear a suit like this into a Cracker Barrel, you're going to get some attention. But this is just a marvelous piece. And I remembered when I pulled that out and I showed Jim, he said, oh my goodness, he went all out and took out all the stops. Because this kind of embroidery, what I want you to note is that every time you see embroidery, is that Manuel sat at his table with his tailor chalk and hand sketched all of these designs. And then all that embroidery is hand guided. And it's just, you know, these are just like treasures, and all the hand stitching that you can notice, the little details like this. And it's just, it came to me at a time in my life where I've always said I've not been somebody that's been like a materialist, but something about the timing of this coming into my life I really needed. And every time I put one of those jackets on, I feel like a king, you know? And I've told Manuel what a special thing that is, and it's just awesome.
So y'all have traveled the world. We have some items here from your world travels.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So, and what we're also seeing is a lot of, is going to be reflective of a lot of, especially our sister state relationship with Gansu province, and in particular, a lot of gifts highlighted that we received from our Edmond's sister city, Qingyang. And you can see how we even brought back as America's musical ambassadors, it's kind of a, you feel funny saying that title, but it's really true that the work and the things we've had gotten to do, we feel so honored that we would be representing not just ourselves or our city, our state, but our nation as well. But at times finding ourselves in very high-level meetings and receiving gifts on behalf of the governor even, or on behalf of the mayor. And so there was a gift from Edmond's sister city that was given to our governor of the state of Oklahoma, Governor Fallon.
Wonderful. If you follow on down this wall, you're going to see some of your different kinds of music. We've got a symphony here represented.
Yes. So Peter and I have both been classically trained on the violin, and we always made a joke because I was a performance major and Peter was an education major, so we always joke that one of these days Peter's going to teach me how to play the violin. But I ended up having this collaboration with a local composer, and UCO, University of Central Oklahoma, had actually commissioned a number of works, and working with Oklahoma Community Orchestra and the UCO Symphony Orchestra. And this particular piece with the Oklahoma Community Orchestra was the Mary Rose, and I had championed that opportunity and the commission of that work, and then gave the premiere. And it was one of these things where he had sent along demos to the Mary Rose Trust, and at the end of the day, Prince Charles, who's the head of that trust, ended up sending delegates from England to be in Oklahoma, to be in Edmond, to witness the world premiere, and brought with them actual artifacts that had been raised with the Mary Rose, snapshots of Tudor England, and a pewter spoon that was a replica of the spoons that were found at the bottom of the ocean.
So Brent,
Yes, ma'am.
this next bay is yours. Tell us about Darkhaven.
Oh, wow. That was my first legit band back in the mid-'80s. As you can see, I had high aspirations to be a rock star. There's the official Darkhaven notebook there. Inside of there are drawings of our stages and lyrics to songs that maybe never got written, and song lists, our dream song list of covers and etc. We actually did go in the studio and make a tape. I think we completed about March 1989. And recently I took the original 2-track masters and went into the studio and actually dumped them down to CD for the first time, and it sounded incredible. Wow. The clarinet there was given to me by my first cousin, Cheryl Stevenson of Claude, Texas. She gave that to me when I was about probably 12, 13 years old, and I've had it ever since. It's a great playing little Boozy and Hawkes clarinet from London, England. Wow. It's amazing. Of course, you see me there in the marching band.
I haven't seen any of this.
Chris and Carrie Wolf are flanking me there on the drums. I'm there on the baritone sax. We just got through doing the Wheatheart celebration in Perryton, Texas. I was probably 16, 17 years old there. That's a very nice Selmer baritone sax. I wish I still had that, but it's a school horn. It's probably worth $7,000 or $8,000 now. But anyway, that's me in my senior picture. Another borrowed Selmer saxophone from my high school.
Wow,
suave
man.
and debonair with bangs.
You were very handsome.
I was. What the heck happened to me? the other picture, the Polaroid, there's me and my Uncle Earl, and he's the one that gave me my very first acoustic guitar. It's somewhere around here, but he's responsible for getting me on the, biting me with the guitar bug, and I've been a guitarist ever since. He bought me that guitar from Douglas Music in Stephenville, Texas, probably when I was in 7th grade.
And it's in the exhibit?
I still have it somewhere around here. Of course, that's me with another borrowed baritone sax from my junior high. Of course, my mom wasn't the greatest photographer. That's me and my Aunt Linda there.
You got your smile.
You got my smile in there.
We have just a couple more minutes, but Peter, as we move along here, some of your early instruments.
I have my first violin, the little quarter-size violin that my parents got me for Christmas. Started playing when I was 4 years old. Wow. And a little Suzuki Nagoya. Great instrument, and this is actually that instrument. As a Suzuki student, my mom took lessons right beside me, and so we had our first recital sometime in the spring of 1984, and she probably made that tie even.
Wow.
Amazing woman. That's real musical inspiration.
Wow, our first quarter-size violin side by side.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow. And is this your guitar, your first guitar, Brent?
That's the Harmony Stella. Yeah, that's the one that my
Wow. That's a
uncle
great
Earl bought me
guitar.
from Stephenville, Texas, Douglas Music.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was not actually I still have my very first full-size violin because when I got to junior high school, I ended up swapping it with a girl in my high school in my junior high orchestra. I had this. It was a pretty cheap kind of Chinese, but it was pretty. It looked like a pretty violin, and this is like an actual German, bench-built fiddle. And she thought it was ugly, so we swapped just straight across. And I was like, oh my gosh, sure. And anyways, signed by Alison Krauss.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet Allison?
When she used to sell her own merchandise.
Oh, wow.
Bluegrass and Chili Festival in Tulsa.
Awesome.
Oh, the K bass.
Nice to see it back assembled again.
Used to record all the Horseshoe Road albums.
Yes, all the Horseshoe Road albums, and it was also has made international tours. But was from the very, very beginning. I mean, when the band started, we needed a double bass. The whole thing was we were an acoustic band. We've kind of actually just this year switched away from double bass to more of electric, but this thing has made the rounds, and all over the world, and in the very, very early days from the beginning till now with Horseshoe Road. And I bought this bass actually from Byron Berline. So it's sentimental, extra sentimental now, especially Byron having passed this last year.
All right, well, we want to thank Peter and Kyle and Brent for coming and sharing all of their wonderful life items with
My
us
gosh.
at the museum. Edmond History Museum, this will be on exhibit until the end of 2021. It's a free museum, a free exhibit. Please come see, enjoy, and learn more about these wonderful representatives of Oklahoma and actually around the world.
Thanks, Amy.
What an honor. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So much.